We're going to shoe the Gentle Giant 16 hand Percheron Teddy. First, we want to get his shoes pulled off. I handmade some shoes for him the last time that I did him, and today we're going to put some more handmade shoes on him. We're getting into the wet months here in Western Washington, so the soles are naturally debriding, so there's not a ton of sole depth that has to get trimmed out of him. Just gather up the sides of the frogs, get the tags trimmed off of it. When the frogs are really wet like this, it's important to have nice sharp hoof knives. Then we're going to nip off the excess length of the toe before we start rasping the foot flat. I always start with the high spots, and then I blend them into the low spots. And then we'll come in and we'll sight the leg, get it out from underneath you so you can look down it, make sure that it's actually flat. Now we're going to light up Old Smoky, and the day before I actually handmade the shoes for him, so that way it wouldn't take up that much time while I was there shoeing him. This is 14 inches of 3/8 by 1. I almost burnt up the whole shoe right off the get-go right there. I had to brush all that slag off of there, all the sparkles. So this is part of the reason why we like to practice as much and go to horseshoeing competitions. So that way when you have a horse that you need to hand make shoes for, it's no problem at all. You're just implementing the basics of fundamental good horseshoeing when you're doing this, when you're just shoeing horses. Just making good old regular shoes. When you go to a horseshoeing competition, yeah, there may be crazy shoes, but you still have to have the basic fundamentals in each shoe in order for it to be nailed on. This isn't nothing crazy. This is just something that every farrier should be able to do, is just go home and be able to make shoes for whatever specific horse. And in this case, a keg shoe at this size, the nails aren't necessarily always punched coarse enough, so it's easier to go home, make some shoes so that way the nails are punched correctly and you can get them up the hoof wall where you need to be. Now we'll get the toe clip put on right before we go back to shoeing Teddy, and now we're going to start getting that clip burned into the foot. Another thing that's important with good basic everyday horseshoeing is clips are meant to be burned into the hoof wall and not just banged on the outside of the wall. So right now I'm actually cutting away a little bit of hoof wall so that way you're not over burning the foot and you're not over smoking it, which would then cause pain to that horse. Because at the end of the day, we are there to better the horse and serve the horse the best that we can. Right now I'm just using some Mustad concave 5 nails, getting them drove into his foot, and bada bing bada boom. Here's old Teddy's shoeing job. 14 inches of 3/8 by 1, some 3/4 fullards. They came out pretty dang good. Not too shabby.